The forest is familiar and black and deep, and Rory recognizes it even as there's a part of him that is aware he is somewhere else, also in darkness, desperately scrabbling at the ceiling of a building filled with the smell of blood and filled with a rage that he's unable to express. Um, while he is here, though, there's a calm that sort of allows that emotion to be distant from him. He can feel the rage and he can feel the anger, but it's like he's watching it from outside of himself. It's almost like the experience he had of being dead and being able to see his body before coming back to it and being alive again and knowing he was fully truly dead, that it was not just like a trick of his mind or something like that. It was that he was gone. He knows that he is a beast unleashed, and that right now his friends and fellow members of the council are like the closest, but it doesn't necessarily give him control of that emotion. Does that make sense? He does not have his hands on the leash.
Fun, 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 fun. So it's almost like it's not necessarily a like perfectly unique experience. This
It's
it reminds him of that death a
yes.
little bit.
And he's not
Okay.
really sure whether this is like something where it's like happening to him or this is the sense that his mind is making of it.
Mm,
Does
yeah,
that make
whether it's
sense?
just kind of like a way to categorize it, so
A way to
it's
experience it
comprehensible. Yeah.
that allows him to keep his identity. Um, and there's there's a moment as he's sort of like pulling away from it, stumbling away from it, doing whatever distancing that he needs to, and then he runs into a body. Um, and as he turns around, Otto kind of starts, and like helps him back to his feet, and he realizes like Otto is in this place. And there's a moment where Otto smiles and recognizes him and is about to greet him. And then the life and animation sort of falls from his eyes and his face, and he starts to just shuffle past Hans.
I know you are here. What is this? What is this twisted vision you are showing me?
He
Speak,
hears
speak to me. Speak. Ah.
he hears distantly the sound of a horn, and he recognizes the horn as the war horn that Posen was using on the field of battle in in the battle where she cut him down. And he can hear the distant like galloping of horses. Um, and other people are moving around him, other faces of people that like he recognizes dimly as other Wassen that he's never really kind of like absorbed their features before. He's seen droves of them in the area outside of Freeburg in despair. And now they're filling the forest and just sort of like shuffling very slowly past it.
Yeah, I don't know if he really knows how to react to that. Uh, this is probably hmm, it's honestly probably about as confusing as the time after his death. I think there's a part of him that's afraid that he's actively dying right now too. That like whatever personality or like remnant of him within the thing is slowly leaving.
He hears a soft voice. uh, that says, "I've become a prince of ashes." And he recognizes the voice, though not like the turn of phrase. And as he looks, he sees Prince von Wish, who he knew as one of his father's most frequent visitors during the War of the Cross. When Strauss was there, Strauss was the general, the leader. The Von Wish was actually like arrayed against the Imperator. He was on the other side. He was fighting
Oh,
alongside Posen and everything,
hmm.
and he still visited and came and went freely under a flag, and basically served as the person who was kind of like trying to talk a truce out of him. You know what I'm saying? He was extremely reasonable. He was extremely level-headed. And seeing him here is a reminder of like that the Iron Princes called him, like even Seeger had good things to say about him, despite the fact that he was on the other side of the war. And he sees Von Wish here with bloody nails that have been driven red and ragged from driving into wood. Um, and simply shuffling past in the same way that Otto is. And after a moment, he says it again, "I've become a prince of ashes."
The confusion is starting to make him angry.
Um, and there's a part of him that just sort of like can feel more wood like under his claws, can feel the rage of it. And as he becomes angrier, the Wassen around him seem to get like leaner and not thinner, but like their reality seems less solid.
Oh.
They're becoming more ghost-like the more rage he finds.
Is this all within the forest
Yes.
still?
And he
There's still
sees
like the
there's a number
trees,
of
like the
yeah, the like leafless
okay.
trees, the black forest, the amber that occasionally drips from bark. He sees no sign of him, but he knows that he's in his domain.
Hmm.
And he doesn't know if he's in his domain in actuality, or it's like his own mind, and this is a place that somehow during the nights of abuse and combat training battle became
Kind of a
comfortable
weird
to him.
mind palace. Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
He hears that horn again.
Start moving in its direction. Maybe
Um,
the only point of reference he really has for where in space he is.
and as he's pushing forward, like he's suddenly pushing through a throng of bodies, and he can smell like the blood and the death and the fear. He can feel his feet slipping on the mud underneath him in that one and only true battle that he fought in after what felt like a lifetime of being prepared to get there. Um, and he sees on the horizon, he sees a figure like up on a horse, war horn raised. And Otto like pushes the crossbow into his hands, like, "You're a better shot than me."
Yeah. Take the shot. This
Roll your
is
finesse and your. Do you have a marksman skill?
oh no, actually. I don't think so, anyways. No, just finesse it is. 12.
And as before, the the shot goes wide, and he sees it wing over the shoulder of the figure, and he sees familiar black plate with leafless branches on the spalders and like blades instead of spikes on its panzer hand. See, it's like looking at his own armor.
Whoa.
And it turns towards him and levels its spear and begins to ride toward him. And he feels that same kind of knot in the pit of his stomach, the like the fear of death that was exactly the same as when he was facing down Posen,
Oh,
as a Black Knight rides at him.
okay. How would this go? How would this go down? Hmm. I just want to flip a coin for this. It's 50-50. What could okay.
So here is my
This is
question.
crazy.
Is this a question of his like cowardice versus courage? Like, is there something he's afraid of that he's resisting, but he's still afraid of? Or is it another question entirely? Go ahead and tell us what's going on in his head right now.
Yeah, my line of thinking has been like that the kind of like my line of thinking has been whether or not this situation would have changed. So I guess it is a fear almost, a fear of I guess it is. I guess yeah, it is. I guess it would be fear actually, a fear of having learned nothing after all this time. Like ending up in the same situation where death is almost certain
And
and failing.
futility.
Yeah, exactly. And failing once again.
Um, so that feels to me like at its heart, it about, at the card that Hans is under, his Arcana is strength. And his Arcana is, an ongoing question of like, does fear win or does he like conquer it?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, the last time he was in this situation, he conquered his fear and he died.
Hmm. That is true. That much is true. Yeah, you know what I think I like as the moment kind of slows as he's like the reality of the situation and all this like this ridiculous vision wherever this place is, and I think he embraces the reliving of this moment and we'll let it happen again. He's been I kind of an underlying fear thus far has been what happens if I die again. And I think he's ready to find out, sort of.
And as his heart is racing and that Black Knight is like bearing down on him, the soldiers, as he looks around, he looks to his left and he sees Otto, and just beyond him he sees Arthur wearing the same armor as Otto is. And he sees Len move in front of him with like spear and shield, kind of trying to form like a shield blockade. And then to the right, Gav wearing the same armor and trying to serve as something of like a body shield for an armored Rosa and an armored Honorine. Like there's suddenly a shift where he's no longer commanding like a faceless army, he's commanding his friends, but that thing is still bearing down on them. And it still has spear tip pointed at him. Um, he sees, Runa behind, sort of like preparing to gather magic. He sees Gerard with a lighter fencing weapon, and Mingosh on the other hand, kind of standing shoulder to shoulder. And there's a certain, I'm going to give you a drama die for this because there's a certain terror that like his inaction will be their deaths as well as his own.
Okay. Hmm.
Does that change anything in how he reacts? Is he still able to accept it coming, or is he?
Oh, now that is a hard question. Hmm. I think now having seen that like change in scenery, it almost feels it almost feels like it's the coward's thing to do. That giving up is the coward's thing to do now to leave these like leave these his most valued of people to deal with the thing that that he's now refusing to deal with. So I think if depending on how much this vision allows, he fumbles and like feels around for where his sword in his own panzer hand would be, and he wants to fight back now. I'm fighting back.
He he feels that sense of like action, and with it comes the anger that he felt again, the anger that had been like pushing away the ghosts, right, pushing away the Wassen. And as he goes for his sword and his panzer hand, he finds metal claws growing out of armored hands, and he feels his like knees snapping, and he throws himself through the air at the horse in the dark night, and he is the were-draken thing that he's transformed into as he
Oh,
takes it off of the horse. And just in that same moment, he is an armored knight bearing down on his enemies as a beast lands atop him. His perspective switches like moment to moment between the two of them. One moment he's the thing of fury, and the next moment he's the knight.
this is bizarre. This is the most bizarre thing he's ever experienced.
Um,
I think now he's trying to grapple for some sort of control over both. Is what he would go for. I think whether it's to try and uh, to leash the rage again and to like try and settle the beast, or whether it's to gather the strength and the action needed to throw the beast off of him as the knight or something. I think he's kind of just trying to grapple for any semblance of control now with how bizarre it is to see both sides of this situation.
he he finds like the werebeast is like tearing off armors. Like a piece of Drakenizing like gets flung away and melts into shadow. And at the same time, he's driving his blade into the side of the creature and he's hammering it in the face with his Panzer fist. And each is like taking chunks and blood out of the other. He is tearing himself apart. And he's feeling every wound from both sides. And in one sense, it's like fueling his anger and fueling his like rage to keep going. And his pain is like mounting and mounting and mounting until suddenly he's in the midst of a battlefield, surrounded by bodies in every direction, with instead of trees growing out of the ground, it's nothing but like broken stumps. And and like the vague like pallor of death and the smell of it, and smoke trickling upwards, and he sees Posen ahead of him in her full armor, um walking slowly towards him with blade in hand, and he has nothing but his own like broken sword. And when he looks down, he can see the wound where her blade went into his heart. The and she stops like a few inches from him, and she salutes with her sword. And then she removes her helmet, and instead of the hair and the face that he knows, like the last thing that he saw before he died, there is nothing but a skull. And she draws the blade across his neck and opens it, and he feels his lifeblood like flow down over his chest before suddenly he is awake in the basement.
What the fuck? Whoa!
And he's no
What in what
longer that
state?
creature. He's
Whoa!
completely naked. He's bruised and battered from like what he'd been doing, but he's himself.
Blinks a whole bunch and like kind of remembers where the hell he is. Gerard, what? Hello? He's the last person he saw, so yeah. I think he's just trying to get anyone's attention, really. But that's who he shouts for.
The plague has been burned out of Hans's system. There's no longer the feeling of kind of like sweat and pain. And through the basement, Gerard hears the voice of Hans from below when he heard nothing but growling and angry noises before it.
Hans,
Yeah, yeah. What? Oh God, what happened? Well,
you lost control of yourself, my friend. And I had to get you someplace where you couldn't hurt anybody.
oh. A fine job you did, I guess. This. Oh.
More or less. Now,
Can you get? Can you get the? Can you get the doctor? God.
is there a doctor's on the way? But until they
Okay.
get there, for your safety and for mine, just have a seat.
Yeah. I will stay down here.
Oh.
Yeah. She just like finds a whatever the like most lit corner is and sits down.
Yeah, most of the light is coming in through like cracks in the boards. And so he can kind of see like motes of dust. This is the place that they found where like there had been the remains of some of the murder victims that are assumed to be from Charlotte's transport.
Yeah, the murder house.
Yeah. And so the place still definitely like smells of that. And Hans can look down and you can see that the wounds on his chest from the red cap are still there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not for long, hopefully.
Are there any others? As he's like now kind of lucid enough to make sure he's not going to bleed out.
There are injuries aplenty that are more along the lines of like throwing yourself at different objects at high speed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even with the strength that he had, he was still collecting bruises as he went.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and I think, but there are no like sword wounds from Gerard. Does that make sense? And most of this might, like, it's hard to say how much of this is just sort of, all of it is flesh wounds that don't constitute a traumatic wound. Does that make sense? So,
generally roughed up a little bit.
very much so.
Okay.
And that is where we're going to drop the curtain on this cold open. I didn't do a 45-minute one for once, but I think there was plenty of content there.
Yeah, that was fucking 45 minutes of that would be.
I feel like
I think would be too much of a mind fuck even for this game.
I feel like that cold open deserves a drama die.
I did get one. He did say.
Oh yeah, you did.
He did give me one for that.
I do remember that.
But thank you for looking up.
All right. So with that, let me find my little piece, and then we'll jump into some new openings. So thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Shadow of the Wachtturm. Our producer tonight is one of the moderators of Dirty 20 Gaming, the delightful and compassionate Gloriosa. Our lore master for the series is the beautiful and benevolent Syndra. Before we get started, I want to give a content warning. While the spirit of Seven Sea is swashbuckling adventure and shadowing intrigue, the story will deal with mature themes, including death, loss, suicide, and grief. Eisen, our setting, is recovering from a 30-year civil war over religious differences. It may get dark sometimes, and there's no shame in bowing out if it's not a place your head can go at the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to have our savvy swashbucklers introduce themselves, starting with Hans.
That was crazy, guys. Well, hello. I'm Rory. I'm the one that's been subjected to holy shit. Yeah, I'm playing Hans tonight, the finally normal again soldier boy.
You!
And yeah, I mean a whole bunch of other games, but I'm going to talk about Oracle Force because that one's really cool. It's run by the wonderful Start Adventure. I played Graviton, the edgy, gravity-powered, star-fueled teenager. God knows where that plot line's gonna go. But if you like whimsy in the face of like potential for a really dark game, and we somehow keep it light and funny anyways, check it out. Because I think that's I don't know if we've mastered it quite yet, but that's been the kind of overarching theme I've noticed so far is that we've got some kind of grim, dark, edgy superhero characters, and my last episode we fought a crab man.
And there was still trauma in that episode.
Somehow we've managed a insane chaotic mix. So catch up on YouTube, and that's all I got to talk about really. Oh, I
Well,
have to pick the next person.
Let's jump to Scarred actually, since you were talking about
Oh
his
yeah,
game.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Hello, I am the Scarred Adventurer. You have found me today with Arthur Wolf, but I'm not going to here to talk about this game at the moment, even though we're about to play this game. I'm going to talk a little bit about our Rise of the Temple run by True Shadowmancer, where I play a insane stoat, which is tremendous fun, and the world is rich and vast and has so much information and things I can't wait to delve into and really get my claws into. Pun intended a bit for that. As well as the fact of just this is the only game I've ever had to worry about money for. Like not like actual but I mean like in-game currency. Let me be clear about that. But I find it so much fun and it's tremendous, and I can't wait to see where it continues to go. And when I'm not here doing stuff on Dirty 20 Gaming, you'll find me working with Tango Productions to bring stuff and or things to your sensory organs. Eventually. The magical world of eventually. I'm just going to keep talking until someone cuts me off.
You're hot potatoing to somebody else, though.
Oh, I thought, okay, because you took it and handed it to me last time. I'm going to hand it to Shadowmancer, considering I was just talking to him.
Well, I was waiting to catch that potato. I was just waiting for you to throw it.
I was very confused for a moment because I went, normally we hot potato, but last time it was taken and then handed to me.
It serves me right. I'll never do it again.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shadow, also known as the True Shadowmancer. I'm one of the founders of the Desperate Dice Rollers channel on Discord. When you're not finding me hanging out there, you can find me sometimes hanging out here as well into Dirty 20 Gaming. As mentioned, I do run the Rise of the Temple, and I hope to see you all there. But I'm here to talk about our every other Wednesday game, The Humbled Heart. This is a game run by our ever fun, ever hilarious Hellhounds 20. It's a game set in the Humblewood setting, and our little group of intrepid adventurers is trying to stop a raging forest fire and find out what's caused it. On Wednesdays, I play Ellen Tiberius Miller, aka Tibbs, alongside the godfather of Dirty 20 Gaming, the beloved Kevin, as Barry Unluckily in Love, the Bard, Janet J777 as investigator Jess, excuse me, the ever unpredictable Brill Chan as Sirocco, the Magpie, and our beloved Bison, the Alderheart Acorn's #1 fan, Jasper the Mounties. Come join us and have some fun. And with that, I'm going to pass it to my right and go to Sans. Gotcha.
Sans, you're muted.
Hi guys. Hey y'all, my name is Sarah. I go by Sans on the Discord. Everything on my site just kind of failed. I am still on the road. This is a test to see if I can actually do this. And if I can, yay. I am on this channel 5.5 nights a week. But tonight I'm going to talk about the Monday games, Pandora's Gift. I play in the nightcast, but there are actually 2 games that day. We have a nightcast and a daycast. As Kevin likes to say, same story, two very different parts. And I play Clarity Palace, the best healer ever. And she's a lot of fun. So come watch on Mondays. I don't remember the daytime's time. Uh, but
1
the
o'clock Pacific.
okay, and and the nightcast is 9. No, 9 for me on East Coast. I don't know what time for you guys on the Pacific. 6.
-3.
Thank you. I've been my life has been insane. Other than that, you can find me over on Tinker Productions, working with the Scrub Adventure or Muppet with Fox on stuff and things that'll come out eventually. Let's give it over to Gab the Grin.
That's me. Hi. I am Bison _ Stonefist. I am a regular on this channel. You can usually find me hanging out in the memes and other places in the Discord because that's what I do with my spare time. The game I'm going to talk about this week is actually Sarah's Deviant Paradox. It is I'm going to call it like college drama, like because it's chaos incarnate. We'll just go with that. I play Garrett Sakes, who has the beast Grendel living in his head. That works real well because Garrett's an emo kid and Grendel's Grendel. It is one of the most, I would say, engaging personally for me. I think about this game all the freaking time. It's a lot of interpersonal drama. It's a lot of tension. I've never been so inherently scared in a game that hasn't been run by Sarah. So I mean it's hard to beat 10 candles, but the Smile Men. Ooh. Anyways, it's a great show. Definitely catch the backlog because
The voice from like 2 sessions ago still haunts me.
yeah. The voice, yeah. When I'm not here, you can occasionally catch me playing Call of Duty Black Ops 7 with Nate Cat Gold Chain Live. It's just a bunch of shitters being really bad at games and having a lot of fun while we're doing it. I'm gonna throw it over to Ruth.
Hi, I'm Ruth. You found me. I'm here a lot in a week. Today I'm here as Runa Ingvald's daughter, but I'm not talking about this game today. I am talking about Everyday Divinity, ran by yet again another one of our very masochistic GMs, the Bat Kyle. It's super fun. Very much a horror game that I've been waiting for my whole life. I don't have the words. I just have the best time when I play. You can also catch Glory throwing shit at her husband, which is super fun.
I do think it's the first Dirty 20 game to feature like domestic abuse. So
It was one time.
The judge says you can't do that anymore.
A game about people with no eyes and Toyota Corollas at this point. So head over and watch that. Not right now. Watch this game, but later, tune into that game. You don't have a lot to catch up on, and get as invested into the story as I am. I'm gonna pass it over to Honorine.
Hello, I'm Blaze Gloriosa, better known around here as Glory. Produced on this channel 2 nights a week on alternate Wednesdays, including this coming Wednesday for Oracle Force. On Thursdays for City of Mists campaign, Deviant Paradox, which you've already heard about. You can catch me in front of the camera 1 night a week on my own channel, streaming Grounded, and then tonight is Honoring. Wow, it's really nice not to have to explain myself to my partner every single game session ever. Cease to cease. That's all I have right now, so we'll go to Len.
The judge doesn't believe you.
Hi, folks. It's me, your battered Bat Kyle. you can find me here on Sundays in this game, which is the game I'm actually talking about. I am playing Len. Yeah, we do have things to talk about. So many things. Costin, and you can find me on another day that's already been talked about, so I don't need to cover that. What I am talking about is this fantastic game right here. Ciosa has managed something that I honestly think would have already put me in the freaking big house, the loony bin, keeping this huge cast of Chaos Gremlins mostly on track. I mean, everybody's engaged every session, whether they're like featured heavily in it or not. The lore is deep. We all fear the cold open and love it at the same time. We fear the cliffhangers and love them. And honestly, we just never quite know what's going to happen, even when we think we've got plans, and it's wonderful. So, speaking of Ciosa, I guess that's you, bud.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm not sure it was a great idea to have you talking about my own game in my game before I got started. But I appreciate that.
You did this.
Yeah, no, I'm questioning it for myself. So all right, I'm just gonna jump in and start. So in the ancient days of Numa, the great storyteller and philosopher Ceres the Wiser once noted that adventure can begin in only one of three ways: by death, by slur, or by letter. To begin without one of these incitements is folly, tobacco best described as an indiscretion, a dalliance, an escapade. But fear not, we begin tonight, properly girded with a letter, the most seductive of the three, and thus the most powerful. And a letter might not be wholly accurate, because tonight we're actually beginning with a message. It's not a written one, but it is one that comes quickly as Honorine and Rosa and Runa are all in the same room at the time. When the door is suddenly pounded
And
on
Gav.
by a fist. Gav is in the rooms. Yeah, sorry. I had
We all
four
fought
PCs in one
Gav.
place.
We all fought her.
When a small fist is banging on the door to Rosa's home.
Runa will answer.
Yeah, there's like one of the kids that usually delivers messages. He's got a plague mask, like, so he looks like a tiny plague doctor. And he says, Gerard's asking for a doctor. He says there was Hans and there was a chase through the streets and something happened. He says, and Hans is a monster.
What?
His blood. We didn't deal with his blood. And Runa looks to the kid. Where is he? Where do I need to be?
Gerard said it was the murder house, which I don't know what that is. I would like to know what house is the murder house.
Runa takes off running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming everyone
might
else
be
is
able to
heard.
help.
Oh.
What did you say, Rosa?
I might be able to help.
Gav, can you lift her?
Without the problem. Just lifts her up like she's a child. Like just as Evie.
Honorine
Or
tucks an extra like blanket around her. You already ran off. Stop it.
I was gonna say before she starts running, she's gonna say, I need to go grind this corn. I'll meet you guys there. She's probably gonna get there first because she is sprinting.
Guys, I need to pack a bowl first. I'll be right behind you.
Now, Gab, is that fireman, princess, or potato sack?
Princess Carrie.
Potato salad curry?
Potato sack.
Oh, okay. I was like, I've
Potato
heard of
salad
many
is
kinds
just
of
like
curries.
Carry your
I'm
potato
just-
salad
Potato salad.
like a bowl.
in your hands.
Oh,
Yummy, yummy.
I'm just like, I can't think of anybody finding that kind of curry comfortable. All right. So did Gerard send message to anybody else? Do we want to have the rest of the PCs like pulled in on this? Or
I was in a rush. That was my message.
okay. Yeah, Runa has the smallest of plague doctors following behind just to kind of see where the murder house is.
Runa's also stopping to get the coin ground up first, but she is running, so there is a chance that she'll make it before everyone else does.
Well, so she probably doesn't need to stop for anything because as a blacksmith, she's gonna have tools like whetstones and stuff like
That
that.
is true.
And so, like, those are all that's really required. If she wants to do it quickly, she needs to stop by a smithy's and probably a grindstone that's like foot operated. But she can do it with something smaller.
She needs it done fast. She'll stop at a blacksmith on the way.
Okay.
I'll also point out nobody knew where Len was, and nobody knows where Arthur is, so everybody else will be there.
So here is the question. So there are probably a few blacksmiths around, but the one that she knows that is reasonably close is in the merchant's quarter, which is Max.
She's going there then.
Okay.
They're on good terms now.
Mhm. And like when she kind of bursts into his shop, he raises an eyebrow at her arrival.
She holds up the coin. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, when she holds up the coin, he kind of like says, "Saddled up for a little bit, haven't we?"
Have no time. Have no time. Wars have been happening. I need to grind this coin.
And he just kind of holds up a hand for it. And takes it over to a grindstone and like pumps it with his foot and starts to collect it into a small bag for her.
She's like trying her best to be patient, but she's like kind of just like tapping her thumbs together, probably just waiting for it to be done. She's not rushing him or anything. She's just like, hey, I need help, my friend.
He says, "Has it gotten worse?"
Yeah. We need to do this now.
He nods and he takes the bag and he kind of reaches like overhead from behind the counter to like what's like not visible at sight level, and she sees him like sliding down a short blade, like a short sword that's designed for fencing and it's kind of more common in Avalon. And it looks to be constructed of the same metal as the coin, but he like tucks it behind himself. And he's handed her the bag, but he's following after her.
What do the three of us see when we get to the house while she's doing that?
It depends on whether Gerard has opened the trapdoor or not, or if he's just talking through it.
Forgot I was muted. And at this point, I will have opened the trap door just to see what kind of condition Hounds is in and seeing the condition of the stairs, realizing he can't get back out until somebody takes care of him.
Yeah, he's also probably a lot more bothered by cold than he was a few minutes ago. Like even in the basement of this place, like it's not exactly insulated for retaining heat.
Oh,
So
I would have found a blanket by then and tossed it in at the very minimum if I couldn't find anything else.
okay.
Any clothes?
There are some scraps of clothes, but like there's nothing that's like a full piece of clothing that's down here. It's like a sleeve that probably had an arm in it at one point. So
Arthur always carries an extra pair of pants in case he needs to make a getaway out of a window.
well, Gerard, Hans was fully clothed when this started, so it wasn't really a matter of like not preparing. So when Gav and Honorine and Rosa arrive, they see Gerard. They have to go inside of the building, but inside of the building, like they see the trapdoor down, the stairs have been demolished. Hans is below. I suspect probably with like Gerard's cape as like what passes for clothing for him, yeah, or jacket, whichever he might affect. Like a cloak is totally reasonable thing to wear in the winter of Eisen, like not even just like as a fashion statement, just as a practicality. So
It's fucking cold, yeah.
this is This is one of the Charlotte's houses that she was using to transport people. It is abandoned at the moment. There's still the smell of death on it, and there's still sort of like a stain of brown on the floor.
Yeah, there's just
So-
there's a very small looking Hans sitting in one corner, huddled up with whatever shield against the cold was given to him.
Gerard, you
Hello?
okay?
What? Staring up at the trapdoor hole, waiting for something to happen.
And Honorine does call out, like, as they're coming in, like, Gerard, are you all right?
We are over here. He's in the basement, and I'm going to pass out now. As I sit heavily, realizing that the fall from the window and the blow that I took probably broke several ribs.
Gerard does have some dramatic wounds of his own, so I think he just had one in flesh wounds. So
No, you said a dramatic wound, so
yeah, one. He can take up to his resolve times 2. So
Okay.
Do we still have the dramatic wounds that we had from fighting Gam Gam?
yes.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, you guys actually see Gav's the sleeves on his shirt or his what he was wearing have been torn from the fate lashes, and he's got 2 coiling scars that go all the way up his arms from the because we took white scars from that.
And Rosa's very, very small now. Like she just looks weaker.
you would also notice Gerard's jacket has several gashes across the front that do not look like weapon gashes.
The messenger said something about the monster. Hans, are you all right?
We took him over, and I got him here so he couldn't hurt anyone. But I am not familiar with this other than legends.
I'm fine now. It mostly just stuck down here. I broke the stairs on my way in.
Gav looks to Rosa.
It's
Can you
very
stand?
cold down here.
Rosa, can you stand?
See with help.
He
You
sort
can
of
lean
walks
on me.
over to Honorine and sort of sets her down so that she can
Honorine
take
has
care of her.
wounds too. I haven't put any thought into like what they look like. So I assume she has like white crisp the fate lash stuff going on too. I just don't know how they
He
look.
gave us homework. He said
Runa
it in the-
looks
I didn't do the homework, okay?
Runa looks
Can I copy
Badass.
off of yours real quick?
I got her to admit it aloud. I know that's enough for like the Gold Star child to like that's punishment enough for the Gold Star child.
because Runa is
I
like
hate you so much.
barely clothed on the top because of all of her runes. You can clearly see there's one across the front of her body, kind of coming up to her shoulder, on like one direction, and in the other direction, there's one along her back coming up to her neck. Like
Okay.
I'd imagine the whip kind of like went
The first
around.
strike spun her, and then second strike came afterwards.
Yeah. So she looks pretty badass with those and her runes.
And they the whips, by the way, they cut like right through clothing. They didn't cut clothing, but they went straight through it.
Okay.
So
That's
So never
good
mind.
because Runa would have nothing.
she'd be
on the
running
top
through
of
an
her
Eisenwinter
body.
topless. Yeah.
So what I heard is
okay.
that the
Sorry.
scars are under corset for now.
Okay.
To be determined
Fair.
later.
All right. So yeah.
No, they're
Gav-
visible from around her corset.
I meant Honorine's, not yours.
Sorry.
We're good.
So Gav leans down and offers Hans his hand. You are okay, my
Is
friend?
it within jumping to grab distance now that he's a normal sized person again?
It is very possible. Like if Gav were to lean in and offer a hand, like Hans would be able to reach and be pulled out. So
Okay. Cool.
No jumping and dangling from Hans.
And I did not do this to deprive you of like an opportunity to raise your brawn. I'm sure there'll be others.
Yeah, I
Gav, just say that.
I know. Gav's always looking for monsters to suplex. What big
Yeah.
monster?
Jump however much, like grab onto Gav's arm.
Yeah.
Okay. So as Rosa's kind of standing on the edge of the hole downwards as like Hans is being pulled up. And her eyes go black as she's looking at them. And what actually draws her attention is the black strands of like the spider webs that were overhead as she's watching like strands falling and snapping and unraveling above her head. It's not every single strand, but there is a large number of them that are like coming unwound. They're not like, it's not like the person on the other end is dying. It's like that certainty is no longer a certainty.
Okay. So yeah, she is starting to look at Hans and make sure like friend is okay. We're not losing friend.
Hans's card is a let me look up the strength tarot card just to
Strength. Oh god, what is it? Strength is the lion, is it not?
Strength is the woman with the lion.
It's on the
Oh
overlay.
yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
So what
all
has
this work you put into
changed?
the overlay, Anna.
Yeah. What has changed in Hans's card now that you're looking at it is that there is the same woman there kind of like showing compassion and whatnot, but there's instead of a lion, there's a four-legged winged Drachen that's like in her hands. That was not there before.
Ah, all right. And Honorine will watch her, like, as to turn it off. She, instead of her normal, like, where she lets it fall, she closes her eyes and just, like, that's interesting.
I love the rest of the way.
What is it?
Hans's card has changed.
What does that mean?
It's very rare, but something has happened to change him.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
I don't know what happened, but his lion has been switched out for a Drachen. He may understand more than I do at the moment.
That is the most Eisen thing I've ever heard in my life.
Slightly.
Somehow it is
So I think-
quota up here. Good God.
Yeah, it's definitely not great, but Runa and with Macintosh is arriving at that point.
And is Hans still before something happened to his glamour, right? Like what version of Hans are we seeing here?
We always see non-glamour Hans.
Since he got sick, that's true. You guys had already you'd been used to seeing him without his glamour.
So
I'm gonna leave that to Hans. Like, to what degree do you think, like, is he still kind of going through that change, or is he changed in a new way physically?
Ooh. You've given me the opportunity to make changes to Hero Forge. That's
Oh
this isn't
no.
fun. Oh god. I don't have enough context. How fuck. I don't know. In the wake of what the hell has just happened, I'm gonna say that temporarily there's like scale like scarring on his hand where the claws came from. Like his hand looks weird right now. The rest of him is the normal, like kind of slightly more gaunt, pale, weird-eyed, non glamour illusioned Hans that everyone has seen kind of progress to this over the last while.
Bruno, you're
No,
up.
don't tell me I look all messed up or something.
No more than usual.
Okay.
Still the most eligible bachelor in Freiburg.
Muck says,
Somehow.
Max says, he looks more messed up than usual to me.
Oh, can you see him now?
Oh, Mac, you are here. Hello. This is you've already made the first impression of me.
Indeed, I have.
Hans, we need to deal with your blood.
Yeah. Oh, well, he just like points at the wound.
You mean the blood that's oozing out of him?
Yeah,
Yes.
What?
that's blood.
It is at least all amber again, as opposed to amber, blackness, and white plague ick. That's
yeah, it's at least less disgusting now. Good news. I had contracted it's a sickness, and I am fine now.
Honoring's gonna
No idea how.
touch the sap.
It feels like sap instead of blood. There's no like kind of instant magic or anything of the kind. It's just like it smells like the amber that she's familiar with, the sap that she's familiar with. It's also the same sap that is known to be used as a weapon to drive creatures of the Black Forest into a rage that they will like launch themselves out of the forest and attack things.
How long?
Since the battle with Posen.
Yeah.
The red cap got him. Since then, and his wounds haven't closed. That's why we need to deal with his blood.
Mac kind of looking to where Hans is in like, a cloak and whatnot, and looking very strange, he says, with his face like that, says we should get him indoors and quickly.
Gav looks at the four
can you see
walls.
it?
We are indoors.
He says, he kind of points to Runa. He says, if you're going to do that, he says, we need to be in a better location than this. He says, I have a place like that.
Honoring's gonna take off her cloak as well, and regret it almost instantly, but she's gonna kind of like give it to him to put over his head, in addition to the Gerard one around his bits.
Yeah, and Mac will offer like a kerchief for him to like tie around his face.
Gerard hands Honorine a handkerchief for her hand since she has the sap on it. Perhaps it would be best if I do not accompany you to wherever you go. For the last most of the city saw of me, I was fighting what he had become. And if I return with you taking him in this appearance, conclusions may be drawn.
The only conclusion to draw is that Hans helped you with the creature.
The men in the Draken's Tooth can put the pieces together. There was me in my room, and then suddenly there is a monster coming out of it.
You don't think they assumed that the monster simply attacked you?
Perhaps they are optimistic. He's like weirdly chill about everything right now.
The monster attacking would be the optimistic. You being the monster would be the pessimistic.
That is a bad thing.
I just
Not
think
too many
that there
people
are
have
certain
said it.
conclusions that are less likely to be jumped to than. And she's taking the handkerchief and like wiping her fingers and like kind of just think that there's a more practical conclusion.
I'm going to be doing that the entire episode.
Very well, I will join you. I just want to take our considerations.
You don't have to. I was just.
Wait, Charlotte, are you okay? I don't know. I did not ask sooner. How bad are you hurt?
I've had worse.
I'm sorry for that.
Runa's just gonna.
You are
quickly
not in your own
tend-
mind.
Runa would like to quickly just tend to Gerard's wounds.
Since it's only a single dramatic wound and like the target number is dramatic wounds times 5 plus 5, I'm not going to have you bother to roll. um, is it okay if we transition to moving to Mac's place? Or is there opposition to that? Okay, so in the course of that, Mac will ask if messages or runners should be sent to the remaining members of the council. All right, and so we're going to cut into what has Arthur been busying himself with over the past few days? So to set the stage, the plague has hit the city, and like there are quarantines of different zones and stuff like that. The council members are some of the few that have permission to travel, but they're expected to do so with like appropriate protections, which have been described by Honorine, most of the like plague gear.
Oh God. I think for the most part, he's been trying to help Logan out with stuff. Just keep him busy.
So
the city is falling apart.
So one of the things that Logan had to do, which was definitely probably the hardest, the most authoritative thing he's had to do since all of this started, is basically he confiscated all of the food in the city and like moved it to locations where it would be distributed so that they could minimize starvation as much as possible and also minimize like cross contact. And secondarily to that, there has been like the places that had, or bakeries or restaurants and stuff like that have remained open, not to feed like to have customers, but to like turn raw goods into food. Does that make sense? Which is then being distributed. All of this has been something that like there's going to be some enormous fallout and expenses to this. But I think the thing that Logan probably asked of him is to like be accompanying the food, make sure nothing's getting stolen, make sure like the guard are not taking extra for themselves, being a face and establishing like a rapport with like the restaurants as just sort of like we are going to pay you back for this. We know that this is heavy-handed.
Yeah, then that's Arthur is essentially a extension to some degree of Logan's will when he's not on screen doing stuff.
And I think Logan's been very appreciative of it's something that he wants to do himself. And like also he's being told over and over again, like you're telling everybody to stay in their quarantine zones. You can't be running around every district. So
yeah.
So one thing I would like you to do is I want you to make a resolve roll against the target number 20. This is to make sure you don't get infected yourself during the course of your travels.
Okay. Just resolve?
Yes. And preemptively, I'm going to have Len do this as well, because presumably as he returns to the city, he's going to face the same thing. You have the protective gear, so you're going to have a +5 on this as well.
We do or no?
You get a +5 to the
myself?
roll.
Okay. So roll 3, keep 3.
You're going to roll whatever your flat resolve is, and you're going to add 5 to the result.
Yeah. So roll 3, keep 3.
Yeah.
18 plus 5, 20.
That
23.
just does it. So you avoid contracting it during this period. It's not been like a lot of like time to sleep, a lot of time to rest. And I think more than anything, Arthur has probably seen face to face the degree to which people throughout the city are really scared. Like they're doing everything that's followed, but like the death toll hasn't started, and White Plague death tolls have ranged from like relatively mild to just like decimating cities.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so right now they're kind of they're in a place of fear. And
As it hasn't reached into panic yet, though.
no, no. They've only had like the first few deaths reported. Um, and like mostly those have happened at hospitals with people who are very advanced. Does that make sense? To whom it's like not as much of a surprise. They're rapidly going to run out of resources, and people are going to be seeing it a bit more face to face if it kind of goes hard enough. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I suppose it should. I don't know if we added in our content warning. We should have a content warning about, plagues, transmissible diseases, everything in the wake of COVID and all of that. So I'm just inserting that here, and to cue a line from Sans, all the players have an X card. The audience does not. If it's too much for you to hear, feel free to tap out.
I
I'm
added
trying not to
plague.
go into I'm trying not to go into too much detail on it, but like the fear is real. So
Yeah.
I added plagues and lockdowns to our content warning as well.
thank you.
So Arthur's doing everything he can. The second he gets the note, he'll excuse himself, and especially if the word red cap is in that.
It's
No.
probably not in it. I don't think that has
Then
been
Arthur is
added to.
taking a leisurely pace. Otherwise, like he'll get there when he gets there. Like he's still busy and he's helping out when he needs to be helping out. But it's just one of those. Like he knows that they need him. He'll be there. But if they said the word red cap, he would already have been there.
So he's got a little bit more time. Like, it's a strange thing. Like all of the places that are the bridge is the primary source of blockades to travel. There's people can still get around by boat and stuff like that, but just not at the moment, mostly because it's winter and like the rivers don't freeze over, but they are fucking cold. So people usually prefer to travel by foot. But it's like weirdly scenic to have the city as near empty as it is, with people inside because of the winter, and what would normally be people traveling outside to sort of like get a break from the indoors, they're not really doing. One of the things that has happened in the sort of like last day's worth of pronouncements is that in the front windows of every home, they have placed a lit candle for every person that lives there. And at the moment, it's scenic, but it's also understood that, like, as time goes on, if there's death tolls, they're going to snub those candles out so that people have a sense of the fatality of things. But for the moment, it's warm, it's inviting, and it's also sort of ominous.
Yes.
So he's going to arrive. I'm going to sort of time things. I'm going to cut over to Len at the moment so that Arthur and Len can be arriving in synchronicity. So Len has just gotten back from delivering messages, carrying messages. He arrives at the bear house to find Alejandra kind of like speaking to a stray cat with message at hand, like, "Are you Len?" "You staring at me," and then like moving to another, like, "Are you Len?"
No, that's over here, over here.
Yeah, and as Len kind of, she like, she says, I thought this one had a bit too much of a mangy coat to be you, but
Glenn just pauses for a moment, looks around like he's waiting for a comment from the Aether, from his soon-to-be sister-in-law. No, nothing? Okay. No.
She says, you look like you still have snow on. And she kind of moves to like brush it off of his wings. She says, "Well, we just had a request for the council to converge at Max Smithy in the Merchant's Quarter."
Huh? Any reason given, or just show up as quick as you can?
Um, she kind of, turns the message around, and I assume that it's probably very sparse, that they're not trusting a great deal of context to messages being carried around by the kids and all.
That's
So,
fair. All right. Well, I'll be like, all right. Thank you. And I'm not a cat very often anymore, but yeah, I can appreciate the effort. He's gonna grab the
and she kind of
message
looks
and
around, and for whatever reason, it looks like there's fully like a dozen or so cats that have moved into the bear house over the winter.
which
Um,
one totally supports and such. But yeah, for now he's just as a human. We're gonna, as kind of novel experience here, we're gonna stay human for all of this, and he's just gonna do his best Hans impression to uh get to the smithy as quick as possible.
yeah, and as he's about to head out, she's like, "Mr. Costin," she
Well,
kind of gets a cloak for me. She says, "It's winter and you don't have a fur coat," and puts it on his shoulders.
he's like, "Thank you," and just kind of folds it up and puts it over an arm. He's like, "I'm a Surin."
She smiles and she says, "The plague's hit the city." She says, "Don't catch a cold."
At that point, he's gonna like kind of wrap something around his face, like from nose down, but otherwise, yeah, he's just cat. I saw the
So
drive-by tailing a valley there.
yeah, she had to come sniff my soda. She's mad she was denied bagel earlier. Uh,
Oh, you monster.
um, so I think Arthur and Len are going to encounter each other as they're crossing the Bone Bridge down into the Merchants Quarter.
Arthur, there you are. How you been, man?
Yeah, busy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've been here doing things. I'm not enjoying this time of life.
The weather or just everything that's going on?
Mostly everything that's going on. The weather is fine. I come from a very rainy, dreary place.
Ah, yes. Detroit. No,
There's snow.
yeah, no, he's like, oh, yeah, you do. Can you, they call this a winter. Can somebody try to put a like cloak on me? So this
Yeah,
is
my
cold.
my jackets still don't have sleeves,
Yeah.
and he just like does this. It's mostly so I can show off these guns. Boom, boom. It's not quite.
How's that
bad,
been
but
going
still.
for you?
I don't know. Some people find strong muscles to be what's the word I'm looking for?
Enticing?
No, that's not the comforting.
Comforting. Oh,
A big strong person's helping them out or something makes them feel a bit safer.
yeah. I got you.
I mean, it's also enticing, but I'm not trying to sleep with anyone at the moment.
Well, if I ended up,
I feel like this is a bad time of year for it.
yeah, because any one of them could be her again. I can see how that would be bothersome.
I mean that too, but I'm talking about the other things. But yeah,
Oh yeah, the plague. That whole plague thing going around. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to forget, but
I
we
haven't
managed
been in
it.
the city. Like I had barely heard that people were being sick out in the edges of things before. I've been gone tracking for Schlingen, so I at least have a reason to have kind of forgotten that there's a plague going on or not known how bad it was.
No, I understand. I've just been in the thick of it.
So you guys, as you cross the Bone Bridge, so there'd previously been a tavern here that got blown up while Runa was near the bridge. And it
Oh, I like
like
that place.
what were what was like the city's worst tourist trap tavern over the Bone Bridge, was reduced to like little more than sort of like a scaffolding. That scaffolding is now where the checkpoint is, with what looks like the coldest and loneliest guard of the Freeburg Guard sitting on it, with like a little fire next to him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like papers.
Uh, on the council, don't have papers. I've been out of the city until now. But here, have a cloak.
Oh
Um,
wait, it's
It's
me.
Yeah,
It's
he has
Arthur.
one, and he kind of like puts another over, and You guys do have like the signet rings that mark you as members of the council. Um,
Just give me a sec.
Forgot
Remember,
about the rings.
yeah, and the guard looks a little hurt at Arthur. He's like, "There's no need for that. I'm just doing my job."
wait, what? That's what I'm just trying to show. Lloyd, I'm so terribly sorry.
Hi, Arthur. Have some tact. Anyway, can we
I'm
go?
sorry, it just doesn't mean the same thing over where I'm
just
from.
get off my bridge.
This is the mean one.
Get off my
this
bridge
is nothing.
and bring bread when you come back.
Here, a little bit of whiskey, and then he just continues on.
We're fine.
All right.
At which point, like, the two of you a little bit longer will come into the merchant's quarter into Mac's blacksmithery. For Arthur, there's definitely sort of like weird familiarity to it. Like the Inish and the Highlands merchants get along like the Irish and Scots do. Like there's just as much competitiveness and stuff like that. But there's still so much in common culture-wise of like carvings and things like that. That even
Arthur is
even
clearly on the
smithy
English
itself.
side, but that's still, hometown pride.
He says, "Come on in then." And he brings to the actual shop itself, but like opens a trapdoor that heads down. The rest of the group is below so like I just want to be clear, like in this era, like the only place that really have sort of sophisticated basements tend to be like castles and manses, because the amount of like earthworks that has to be done to like build them and support them and the understanding of architecture that's necessary is rare. And this is one of the largest basements that they've ever seen, and definitely extends to like the entirety of his property and maybe into a few others as well. Like there are like rooms full of ore. There is an extraordinarily complicated like smithing mechanism that uses turbines to like draw air from above, like turbines appropriate to this era, not like futuristic ones. Does that make sense? The Runa was down here before, and she saw some of the extent of it. She saw the extent to which, like, he had levers and stuff like that that could control the heat of his forge. Um, and most of it is built around the forge as a centerpiece. Like, the forge that he has above is a simple thing, and it is for the customers and for the routine work that he does compared to whatever it is he is capable of forging down here. This is a facility of like unprecedented complexity, and the room that Mac has offered for Hans is unique in having cold iron prison bars for it. The door is presently open, but for Arthur, the recognition of those is like there's singular purpose for that.
The hell is going on here, Mac?
He kind of gestures to Hans. He says, "That one's been infected by a red cap."
And you wouldn't say that in a fucking letter?
He says, "No, I wouldn't put it in a fucking letter."
Are you just collecting calamities at this point, my friend? Because
hey.
I'm the herald of doom here.
I was going to say you cannot talk any shit with all of the things you have roped us into.
Oh no, I can talk all of this shit because of the things that I have roped us into.
Okay, all right.
Good. Before
are you here to help or just to ridicule me, huh?
Oh, don't think I can't do both. And then he's gonna go hug his wife.
Out of character, this is a question of does Arthur know how to deal with red cap wounds whatsoever?
So
considering his Fey knowledge would be kind of extensive.
So the thing that he understands that has been explained to him is that red cap wounds for most are fatal, like period. They'd never close. You bleed to death. Hans, whatever is bleeding out of him is not fully blood.
That feels more concerning than anything else. What, Hans? What are you bleeding?
Oh,
It's
yes.
sap.
He points to the. Yeah. It is. It is a tree's amber.
It's darkwood sap.
He's not leaking anything else now, though. He doesn't have the Technicolor fluids.
No,
It's
he's
the
not.
black,
No.
white, and okay.
Also, just to be clear, Shadow, Gerard can fully have had time to go back and like kind of report in and like lead any trail following so that he can be at the scene as well.
Very well. Get a new jacket. Pretend I'm not hurt. That whole thing.
Where'd you even find a feckin' red cap?
The battle with Posen.
Yeah.
She had one.
Oh,
Tired
fantastic.
by her, it would seem. It's been more than one Koenig meddling with the forces beyond our control. Who would have thought?
Yep, never mess with the Fey folk.
At least
Although
the
you know
last
all
one had
about
the
that, don't you,
decency to
Mark?
melt.
Yeah, right. One could only hope.
So here's the thing, Hans.
Mhm.
By all accounts, you should be dead already.
Not the first time. He's still like weirdly chill about everything.
Let's get
Are you
like,
chill
fist
or are
bump.
you in shock?
Hmm?
Are you
Oh.
relaxed or are you in shock?
Who is to say?
It's shock. Okay.
Yeah, that's what. Kind of.
He's a little too lucid to be in shock, I think.
He's not dying.
Kind of is. Anyways.
I thought that was. It was very weird.
No black strand. He's not dying.
Oh, fantastic.
Good news
You
of
look
all.
like hell.
Hey,
Arthur, shut up.
Sorry, I slipped out.
Let's take care of Hans first, and then we can all talk. Right, Arthur?
Yeah. All right.
You are starting to look a bit like me, Arthur. Have you not been sleeping?
No.
No. Good.
Do you have any sort of idea for how to potentially fix this?
Points at Runa.
He says,
Holds
give
up
it to
the-
Runa.
Holds up the bag of the cold iron like coin dust.
what's
So what
in the bag
Arthur-
that doesn't?
So I'm assuming Runa opens enough that they can see what's within.
Okay.
So what Arthur knows is like that is poison for Fae. Like that is whatever Mac is proposing, it's basically like fighting a poison with another poison,
Okay.
which there's some precedence for in medicine. But like
Arthur's
there's
doing
risk
math in his head,
too.
which is something he's not very good at.
Runa
So
kind of
he's-
just looks him dead in the eyes and goes, "It's all we have to help at this point."
Yeah, then go for it. You got like a 60-40 shot.
I'm counting on the 60.
No, you were counting on the 40.
Fuck. Then I'm counting on the 40, and it's going to work.
I can watch his strand if you all would like me to.
I'm
Are you feeling up to that? You look
If it would exhaust
like it
you,
has
I feel
been
like
a long
yeah.
period, my love.
and I'm gonna be staying as close to him as I can.
Honorine looks at Rosa. Do you want to?
It's the least I can do for our friend.
Okay.
I will point out he has already been a dragon wolf monster thing and has survived that.
If it is too much, do not exhaust yourself on my account. Whatever
Does the
happens
dragon
is-
wolf thing
what
also
is
send off terrifying red flags in Arthur's mind?
That definitely sounds like So like werewolves are not a thing in this mythos. Does that make sense? Like there aren't any examples of them, but there are all kinds of examples of the Fae glamoring people into other shapes and frequently making them lose control of themselves in the process, like forcing them to be animals and that kind of thing. Mac kind of he looks to Rosa and her kind of, like her emaciation following everything. He says, "I'm gonna make some tatties and I'll be back to it."
And throughout this, I'll keep an eye on both Hans and Rosa.
I wouldn't start that until everyone's ready and knows what to expect. Um,
Well, Arthur, what do we expect?
You could kill him. You could also save his life, but you could kill him.
Be more specific.
What she's holding is Fey poison.
How is
And
that going
by
to
the
help
fact that
him,
you're
though?
Could be affected by
red caps are already a poison that are a Fey of themselves, causing the wound to be unable to close properly. Unfortunately,
Dive
by the
production.
fact that yes,
Sorry.
and unfortunately due to the fact that he's bleeding sap and not blood would also recommend something about him being something Fey touched himself. So it's and please GM correct me if I'm wrong at any point when I'm saying this.
no, it's very accurate. Like the thing is that part of him is Fey touch. It's just not the Bryn Bersail Fey. It's another
Yeah,
kind of Fey.
but Arthur's going to keep going. One of the things is you may also become much weaker at the end of all of this.
Before we do this, should we try and bind up those sappy wounds?
There's no point.
They do not heal.
They don't close. You can sew them shut, but it's like
I tried.
it's like it's like trying to sew back together pieces filled with holes.
If it is going to be effectively poisoning me, perhaps it is best I be restrained in some manner.
I think that's what the cage is for.
We should keep you down.
I'm sure
yeah,
Meg has iron chains down here.
No, those are going to be worse. No, I mean, just sorry. The cold iron is already the poison. Well,
Be too much.
it's probably a better idea to strap him down with some leather and some cloth and stuff like that. More iron on top of it's only going to make things much worse
We
and
recommend
increase the chances of him dying.
I would recommend something stronger than just cloth and twine to hold him down. He was able to throw me through a window.
Oh my
Then
goodness.
Arthur does. Then I'll stay here with him, and I'll make sure that he can't get out if anything were to go wrong in that sort of way. I look to be, and he looks at you guys, less physically hurt than the rest of you.
You're not going to be alone.
No,
Oh.
but you need to focus on what you're doing, and I will focus on what I'm doing.
I'm
This is
not
gonna be a
hurting.
hellish process. You can
I
stay,
need help.
or you can go with. I. Please be my backup plan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honoring's
plan
got
bear.
Rosa still squeezed against her, and she like kind of squeezes her a little harder.
Hans, no matter what happens, this is going to hurt like no hell that you've ever been through.
Oh, if it is worse than what just happened, then oof.
I just want to make sure that you are okay to go through this.
If I
This
watch,
is the strange
we'll
thing.
know if he's going to die.
And if you'd be so kind, please watch behind the iron
stand there.
bars.
Yeah, if things go south, I'm trusting you to get everybody out.
The
No one's staying in the bars but Hans.
No, I'm staying in behind with him.
And I thought you're going to be right there at his side if he's behind the bars.
Because there's space to be outside of the bars.
Oh yeah. There's like plenty of. So it's designed as like a cell with like the room that you guys are currently inhabiting as like a room that you can observe. You could work on the forge. You could like do quite a few things from this space. There's actually quite a lot of it. And as you guys are kind of like looking this over and discussing it, Mac comes back down with a plate full of what he called tatties, which turns out to be fried potatoes, fried turnips, and sausages. So it's like probably I don't think Rosa has eaten seriously like solid food in several days. So he sets like the first and largest plate in front of her. And then the next one in front of Hans, like, the one who's going to need his strength. And then kind of starts going to everybody else who's injured. It's just like, it's extremely solid comfort food.
Arthur does state it's probably best if I stay in with him, mostly due to the fact that if he starts to violently convulse or anything like that, I can also make sure he doesn't bite down his own tongue. It's not just a thing of whether or not we should leave him be in the thing on his own. We need someone in there with him to make sure at the same time. And
Is it safe for you to be in all that cold iron?
I'm not
I don't
fey
think we
touched.
were-
I'm more just. It's like adjacent to adjacent. I can feel everything. I've what? How do you put this in such a way that makes more sense? It's sort of a. I don't have any magic, none. Upkiss. But I was around them long enough that I know how to feel what they feel. That's how I know exactly what these things are and how I'm more than a little angry at our friend back here, but that's something I can deal with later.
Mac kind of like he registers it, but there's no response. Does that make sense? His attention is focused on Hans. Um,
So are we tying down Hans? I know
We're
we
going to
said
be
no
doing
iron
both.
chains, but I'm good with rope.
I'm also good at tying knots.
Mac says there's a possibility he might start to transform in the middle of it, and that could choke him out. The best thing is in the cage.
That's what we're talking. I'm just talking hands and feet, not more than that, Mark. And even then, in the cage. I just need a table.
Is there a possibility he could permanently become that thing?
That's one possible outcome.
Then
Slim.
you'll need more than just two hands.
That's why I have
Hey.
Len waiting behind outside.
If that is going to happen, don't waste your rope.
I can always get
Then-
more rope,
Yeah.
but
I
Fair
mostly just mean should just get this over with.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's.
This is going to happen, it's going to happen.
It's going to be unpleasant for everyone.
Yeah, hooray, now everyone gets to see the monster.
The nice thing is I can subdue a bit more easily without having to cut into anything. I'm sorry, Gav. I know you can too, but you're still.
Well, that is beware of the claws if that happens. Whatever form they
I
have,
need 3 drams of whiskey.
whatever form may have some pretty wicked claws.
4 drams of whiskey. Hans, you're having one too.
Um,
Can't hurt.
Henri, as you're kind of taking a moment, like, and call it a prayer, kind of a call it a good wishes. The She has the sense that, like, at least for the next little moment with Hans, the necklace might be better off, like, on him than in her hands.
She's gonna make sure that Rosa has something to lean against, and she kind of like touches Rosa's arm, like, I'll be right back. And she reaches, she has a pendant that she wears, but I don't know if any one of you guys have seen it before because she wears it like tucked into her neckline. So when she pulls it out off over her head, it comes out like a little, it's fashioned into the shape of a flame, but it's amber, with a sliver of dark wood caught in the middle of it. And it's fully like resin, amber, whatever. And it's on a very long, like, not even like a chain, like almost like a thong necklace. And so she pulls it out, and she as she like crosses over toward Hans, and she's like kind of holding it in her hands, going to put it over his neck if he lets her.
Yeah.
I want this back. So she puts the pendant, like, hold on to it for strength.
Max says, if any of you have something that you would like to say to your friend, you should do it. And if you have family that you need to bear a message to, you should write it.
And her hand sort of lingers on the pendant, like she has a hard time letting it go, but then she goes back to Rosa.
Runa is just gonna let her family know, not in full like, I have something to deal with the council, and along those lines, and Juris will find out through her family probably.
We'll let your family know it's towards Hans specifically, but like if she wants to do that
Never mind
just
then.
as a precaution,
No,
she can.
never mind.
So
Arthur
pretty
actually
sure-
looks, because he's going to be in the thing with him as well, and just kind of goes, tell Logan afterwards. He'll want to be here.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit too dangerous for him right now.
Yeah, my sister would do the same. But tell her afterwards.
And if you are going to, if it looks like you're going to become that thing permanently,
It will not happen, Gerald. It will not.
We must account for everything, Dev.
we
That
will tolerate the best.
is to happen and subdue me if possible, if not send me to the wilderness, and perhaps I will find my way to the forest.
What do you want us to tell your sister?
I will tell you.
But what?
That is the question.
I do not know.
We can figure it out if it comes to that.
If anything, tell her the truth.
Max slides the food to, he says, think about it. Eat and think about it. Says, don't put that burden on the ones you care about to tell the ones you love. Let the words be yours. Decide them before this.
He said it better than I could.
Yeah, nod and sit and eat for a bit. I think by the time, whenever everyone's ready, he'll have something.
Okay. Is there anything that anybody's going to say to Hans before he does this?
I assume Runa's going to be the one putting the powder on, so everyone else should go first.
Sure.
You
Arthur
don't get
will
out
be
of this
there.
that easy.
Yeah.
You think you're just gonna turn all monster and escape all your responsibilities and go eat faces in the forest? Bull. You're stuck with us and we're stuck with you.
Yeah, if I turn into some monstrous thing, if you wish to fight something as a bear, you have be my guest.
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, a fucked up parting gift, I suppose.
It's not going to happen. You are going to be all right. You are going to come back.
It is nice to hear from you most of all, given your foresight into things.
You will make it through this, my friend. You are a good man. You are Eisen. And you have faced many threats and have always stood firm. This is another threat. You will stand firm and you will come out Hans Riefenstahl, my good friend.
Yeah. And just snaps Gab a crisp salute.
Gab claps him on the shoulder.
My words, I'm afraid, aren't going to be nearly so profound. I've lost enough people in this life. I don't intend to lose any more. Come hell or high water, I'm dragging you back out of the cell with me, as you are. But buck up. It's going to hurt like hell.
Honoring doesn't say any words. She already gave him her pendant, so she's just sort of waiting.
If we see you on the other side, Ubermensch.
Gives Ron a proper handshake and I thank you for helping me the first time.
You would have done the same for me.
What's my friend?
It is so weird to see you like just strolling along while you're supposed to be sitting there like direly.
No, he's totally like anxiously pacing back and forth inside the tiny cell. Like he's definitely like walking tiny circles around it.
Has Rosa already said something?
Mhm.
Yep.
Before we do all of this, Runa is just gonna look to me. You will see this through, Hans, because I know you can, and because your sister needs you, because we need you. And she's gonna hug him.
Salutes her again. Once he's released from the hug, salutes her as well. Aye, Captain.
She gives him a small smile and a nod. And begin whenever.
Yeah.
So the processes of actually like rubbing the dust like into the wounds to the point that like in a biological sense, like that it would be deep enough to start to like travel through the veins. And like at the first kind of like touch of it, there's no like response. It's not like instantly painful or something like that, but it becomes like it goes from like nothing to like feeling not dissimilar from that sword to the heart that he took once.
Oh, fun. That's wonderful.
And when that kind of happens, when that kind of pain like goes over Hans's face, Mac like steps in and bodily pushes him back into the cell. With just like a nod to Runa, like that's enough. Like and then steps back.
Arthur goes in. Arthur does go in with him.
And Mac kind of like remains by the door, with like one hand on it so that he could slam it closed if Arthur needs to make a rapid exit.
Runa also
Arthur,
stays close to the cell door.
Arthur, for the sake of this, has also handed off his jacket, his shirt, and the only thing that he really cares about, really out of everything he's got on him, besides the coin, which he doesn't take off, but the little wooden bracelet that he's got.
Honoring takes them for him and gives him a nod. I'll keep them safe for you.
Good, because I want them back, especially that piece.
You got it.
That one's more important than I want to let on. Anyways.
And they can see Hans kind of like his head snaps back, his eyes kind of seem to roll back. His mouth opens, and there's a sound that comes out of it that sounds like 1,000 dry branches cracking at once. Um, and his body kind of seems to like stiffen, and his appearance fluctuates. It goes between like a living Hans, a very dead looking Hans. It goes between like a were form, and then like something, and then this sort of like cold, monstrous thing that Hans has slowly been transforming into, with lean features and like shattered blue eyes. He's kind of like shifting between all of them, and in Hans's mind, he's suddenly back in that black forest. Um, and he sees uh Von Wish there again. He says, I have become a Prince of Ashes. And then out of the darkness next to him steps Heinzel with his skin like burned and parts of like hair like flaked away to ash. And he says, I've become a Prince of Ashes. Uh, And Hilgrun steps forward on the other side, and you can see where his face is like melted and putrid, and he looks sort of like he's just suffered that ruination that like ended him. And his voice sounds particularly wet when he speaks. He says, "I have become a Prince of Ashes." Um, and the he kind of took the coward's route for a moment in the last confrontation. And it's still instinctive to step back, to step away from these figures. And then he bumps into someone and turns, and his father is staring at him. And his father's bones are broken from his last fall. His jaw is like shattered into one side. Um, and he says, I have become an imperator of ashes.
He looks around, taking in all the figures. Finally. No, no.
His father says, You are beyond the ruin that came to me. You are so much stronger than me. You were raised to war and fell against the first sword raised against you.
You have things to say of warfare, my daughter? You are
One
walking.
failure recognizes another.
That is quite rich. Then perhaps you all have succumbed to your fates, your failures, your whatever it is that tortures your souls. But I've been killed once and risen again. I have lost all, everything, a family, a position, a chance at making a difference in this nation. I have lost friends. I've lost my love to the things, to the to the tragedies and the outcomes of the meaningless wars you all wreak on each other. This stupid infighting, this squabbling over nothing. And he's growing angrier, and he pauses and 9.
As he's growing angrier, so like what is happening in the world that others are seeing is they're seeing like those draconic features start to assert themselves more and more. They're starting to see like the bonds that were put around his hands and his ankles, like they just start to shred under the mass of like increased muscle and bone. Um,
No, bad Hans. No, no changing. That's my thing.
Oh, I was
um,
hoping it'd last at least a second.
the at my love, there's there's a moment where he kind of feels a touch on the back of his neck, and he looks and he sees a very like sorrowful Otto touching his wrist and his neck. Um, One that is like completely gray, like the whatever it is to be a Wasson is like sort of claimed him. And where Otto is touching his skin starts to gray. And like he can feel a sort of like numbness traveling up his arm. It's not painful, it's not anything, it's just a complete lack of feeling. Um, but then on the other, he feels his wrist gripped. And uh he sees now is the worst time to blank on a name. The commander that he just inherited the Wakun from.
Oh, is it
Loring,
Kelby?
Loring,
Yeah,
thank
Kelby
Kelby
Loring.
Loring. He sees Kelby there, with kind of like some of like the marks of the explosion and like the everything that claimed him. Um, and he understands that there's like a push and pull between the the ennui and the giving up and like the things that make Wasson into Wasson is losing hope and like no longer fighting. And it was something that he was himself grappling with, was like powerlessness begetting, like kind of growing within him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he's also looking at somebody for whom all of the heroism and sacrifice was futile. Or maybe not. Like it did lead to something. It led to changes. It led to Hilrun's palace being taken, it led to him finding his sister.
Mm-hmm.
It so they're providing support in the face of, the imperator before him, the father who never really approved of him. Um, and out of the corner of his eye, over his shoulder, he can see Anna there, like sort of out of sight, but definitely she's framed as like the imperator is the one standing between Hans and her.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Okay. He turns to Otto, holds him by the shoulders. I am sorry. I am sorry for the fate that befell you, and I'm sorry you had to see what was an end. I'm sorry you had to see something so painful. There is hope. He turns to Loring quickly. Thank you. You're a good man. I'm sorry you had to meet your fate the way you did. Finally turns back to his father. And you. He's clearly angry to whatever level these like visions or spirits can process their environment. Like he appears angry, but he's taken a breath and taken a moment, and it's that like it's the calculating anger of an angered soldier now, planning out his next move.
So one quick second before you say what you're going to say, because I want to describe a few things. He sees Posen's helmed figure, the same one that was like a skull that opened his throat, starting to walk up behind Anna as he's speaking. Her blade drawn, like the blade still wet with blood. And secondarily, as Rosa is watching Hans, she's watching his card kind of seem to transform as quickly as his face does. as though like what's happening here is permanently altering his destiny.
Fuck.
No pressure, buddy.
Oh my god.
Mama, you've got this.
Um, yeah, is Honorine still near Rosa?
Yeah,
Because
she's
if
wrapped
not,
tight.
she is up against the bars, eyes full black, and just consistently like, Hans, you have this. Come back to us, please. Just cheering him on.
Honorane's
Luna-
there having helped her toward the bar. Like when it's clear Rosa wants to move, Honorane's gonna move with her. And kind of like lace her fingers in with one of Rosa's hands and like squeeze really tight.
So I have one question for Hans before you say what you're about to say to the Imperator,
mhm.
which is a long while ago you bought faith in
Yes.
the
Yes,
Shadow
I
Man.
did.
Does Hans still have that faith? Is it
Oh, yeah.
like it's been challenged, I know, but I just wanted
Certainly.
to see if he still had it or not.
I through everything he's questioned him, and he's prodded him for answers to things, but he has maintained like faithfulness and that kind of that respect you would show to a figure of deity tier power, even if he isn't one in the traditional sense. He'd still respect him as like a figure of a belief system.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have the stage.
Yeah, he turns to his father. And you. What is there to apologize for to you? Stares at him for a long moment. I am sorry you had such little faith in me. But you of all people to speak to me of failure. It's a place you do not have. Not as a king, not as a ruler, not as a man, not as my father. For the man who abandons his family is the weakest of them all. Yeah, you may have, but I have clawed myself back from the grips of death and the grips of monsters and all form of hellish things for the people that are my family. And he turns around, he turns to no one in particular, and I will claw my way back from this too. You cannot kill me so easily. Whatever you are that puts this accursed affliction on me. Perhaps I will come find you, perhaps I will not. I honestly do not care. This is nothing. Perhaps all of you will be at peace, perhaps you will not. It is of no consequence now. You have all lived and died. And you have all used your time, some in good ways and some in very, very poor ones. My time is not up yet. And he looks right at his father now. If there's something you would like to, I have a good line for this.
So there's nothing but two blades have appeared in his hands. One of them is like the dark black Drachen blade that he is familiar with, that is a recreation of like Strauss's blade. And the other one is something silver and feral and fey. Yet is also like marked with sort of like draconic shapings in the hilt and along the blade itself. That
Whoa.
like he understands that like one of these is like pure rage, and the other one is like this thing that he has been thus far.
Mm-hmm. He pauses and looks down at the blades. holds them down at his sides.
And he sees Posen putting the blade like up to Anna's neck from behind and preparing to like open it in the same way that she did with Hans.
And then I think right before, I don't know how much like influence over space does he have here?
Influence over space.
Is this enough of a like his mind palace vision that he can kind of like move somewhat freely? Is he restrained by the physics of reality?
What he's restrained by is that his father is between him and everything else.
Okay.
And that in order to like act for his sister, he needs to remove him. However, that looks for him.
Okay. The final thing he says is, it's about time someone made a fucking change in this place. And I think he will shove him out of the way with shove him with the blades, with the flats of the blades. He shoves him and will make for Posen now.
And he sees Posen start to like draw the blade across, and he sees like for a moment he just sees like a glimmer of possibility of like the white spots kind of like exploding across her face and across her skin. But then like right as the blade is about to touch, bark grows over her neck, and on the opposite side of Anna is the Shadow Man there, like using part of his body, part of his arm, to protect her. And he feels like the necklace glowing at his neck. He feels warmth radiating from it. Um, and he reaches his sister, and the the choice that he's made towards mercy, towards, he hasn't used like the shadow powers that have been given to him. He hasn't used the rage that he had. He's kind of chosen neither. The image that Rosa sees snap up is one of Hans himself. Like the Drachen is gone. There is a lion in its place once more, and the the appearance of Hans in all of this, it's like the different appearances flake away, and for the first time, you're seeing Hans without glamour, looking human again.
Holy shit.
She is cheering for him as loudly as she can, and she's not dropping Arcana at all.
Okay. And Hans sees his sister looking up at him, and just a moment later, she's not garbed in like those kind of like sackcloth things that she'd been garbed in a moment before, the like servant's attire he saw her in. She is wearing the crown of the Imperator, and she's garbed as well.
He
And she
smiles
kind
for
of,
a moment.
and for the first time in this whole thing, she takes a breath and she sees to see him. And she just wraps her arms around him in an embrace. And she whispers, "I've missed you."
He drops both the weapons and fully hugs her back. Feels like it has been an eternity. And he looks up, and is Posen still there?
She is, and so is the Shadow Man.
That like the joy and the kind of relief drops as he stares at Posen. You off now. He points at the ground next to the horse.
And she just sort of like trails into smoke. And the Shadow Man is there for a moment. And there's a smile that is somehow both like sad and relieved at what he sees. And he steps forward and he wraps an arm around Hans. He's not wearing like the wooden armor or anything like that. He's just the impossibly beautiful creature that Hans knows. Does that make sense? And he puts his forehead against Hans's for a moment and he kind of just like squeezes him and squeezes the back of his neck. And then begins to melt away and like Hans returns to the bar's prison cell. He's kind of been like struggling with Arthur for a while, and like a moment ago his arm had been touching the bars as they were kind of grappling. Does that make sense? And his skin was hissing, and now it's not.
But he immediately goes up to like, "Ah," like quickly
Congratulations,
raises his
friend.
hands in defense.
You seem to be alive.
Oh. I told them.
You did it! As Runa like pushes Mac out of the way and like runs and hugs him.
You said Arthur was struggling.
Blood
like
is dripping from Hans's chest in place of amber now.
We should sew that up.
Runa would like to deal with that.
Yeah, that hurts a lot more now, actually.
What was Arthur saying? I didn't hear
You
it.
said Arthur had been struggling with him for a little while. So is he like in like mid blows?
No, it was more like he was trying to get to the opening where Mac was to like get out. So it was really more of like an extended grapple kind of thing. There wasn't really like blows being thrown.
Okay, no, that's kind of what I was wondering. Okay. So there's definitely like holding the wrists is what Arthur would have been doing at that point.
Yeah.
And then looking at the chest bleeding on profusely as well. Kind of, you should get that looked at.
Runa already taking supplies out of her like little med kit that she keeps on her.
The first thing that
And
we
Gav, I know my
realize
form is terrible.
is that the bleeding is for the first time like it's faster because it's actual blood now, not amber, but it's actually staunching. It's like the first sign of actual healing of it. It'll come in time.
She's so relieved, but she's also like helping like wrap and like.
So you're not part Shadow Daddy anymore?
What does he look like now?
Right now, Hans looks very human.
Huh.
You no longer look like you haven't slept in the last 200 years.
I think that is the most color I've seen in those cheeks in months. In fact, I think is the first time he has had cheeks in months.
Just looking at all his skin, looks normal. Once he feels for like pulls a hair out, and it's that like it's the original like kind of earthy brown that it was forever ago to him at this point. Do you look at that?
All right.
Welcome back, Hans.
Oh. Thank you all. Come on, come here. He waves everyone over.
Runa gives him the biggest bear hug. Well, not the biggest. 'Cause
Second
he does
biggest.
have a wound.
Yeah,
Everyone's giving tender bear hug.
Yeah.
very gentle
Care Bear
group
hugs.
hug.
They're called teddy bear hugs.
Between Hans and Rosa, there's a very limited amount of squeezing going on.
Yeah.
Well, plus
You do-
I think everybody except Arthur and Len have wounds. To aggravated fate whip wounds or claw wounds from Werehans or Hans wounds from Werehans. I mean, it's
I have to roll anything to make sure I didn't get any wounds from that, right?
I'm not worried about it. You guys are gonna have time to heal between now and the next one.
Okay, good.
Jord returns a short time afterwards, carrying a bottle, and hands it to Hans. It's schnapps.
Celebration.
It's celebration is in order.
Max says, "You've already opened my whiskey. You might as well finish it."
Thank you for allowing us to use your facilities fund.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Should have made an important difference.
Merci.
My hand. Wait, he like pats for his pouch that's not there. Why is my pen's a hand? I must see something.
When he, yeah, so I am going to give you a choice at this stage, and it's up to you. You have quite a number of points invested into Drachen that you can refund to buy an advantage, or you may keep them. I'm not going to tell you what the advantage is until.
God damn it! Of course not.
I'm going to let you make the choice.
Shit.
So he has a pact with the Shadow Man that he has not yet completed, so he can keep the Drachen up until the end of that pact has been completed, or if he wants, he can be effectively like they'll be in a different relationship together. Does that make sense? Like Hans still has faith in him and whatnot, but like the pact will have changed. In which case he'll have the different advantage.
Warlock or Paladin, Hans?
Yeah, fuck. Oh.
Because it is very fair to say he still has a debt to pay for having his life. But it is also fair to say that this has been enough of a change that like he doesn't need to draw upon that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's renegotiating his contract mid-season.
Not reading back.
Yeah, the lease is up, and we're changing the rent. We're changing rent now.
They're asking for a raise in your leadership.
Yeah, it's like asking for a raise.
So which do you want to go with?
You refund it. Let's see where this goes.
Okay. Remove the Drachen
This has been enough of a change, yeah.
Remove the Drachen from your sheet as it's no longer summonable by you.
Okay.
And you're going to replace it with a 20-point advantage called Man of Will.
What? Oh. Okay, how much armor do I have total? Let's see here.
I'm pretty sure you had at least 20 points worth.
Probably, yeah.
I think you actually had a few over. So I'll do the math of that when I have the brain space for it.
I have to do the math. I have to remember which things I have.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, there's a moment kind of as like the hugging is going on and like Hans is kind of taking a renewed stock of himself and whatnot. Mac looks to Arthur and he says, and like they're a little bit distant from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much Arthur's joining in all the hugging and whatnot.
Arthur gave a nice big pat on the back, which probably knocked the breath out of Hans for a second. Got everyone to swear at him, but it's the way it is. But yeah, no, he's hanging back a bit because he knows this is coming.
Yeah. Mac just kind of like turns to walk towards one door, like under the presumption that Arthur will follow and still wants to have a talk with him.
Yeah, Arthur does.
He says, "What is it, Anish?"
Arthur, to be perfectly honest, Arthur's not entirely certain what to talk about. He knows it needs to be talked about. Considering this is cold iron and he's almost fey touched, like pseudo fey touched. And it's also just one of the burning questions he has, weirdly, is because he's seen the sword as well. And it looks familiar to him, to a dagger that he once saw.
Yeah, the fact that this person has both a cold iron dagger and a cold iron blade that Arthur has seen, that's like more cold iron McKeekern weapons that like most would dare to own. Does that make sense? Like most from Avalon, just the idea of possessing two of them is unthinkable. The fact that he's got that plus like he had access to a cold iron, he's got prison bars made out of the stuff.
I don't really know where to start with this, so I'm going to ask a bit of an innocuous question. Did you give Megan her dagger?
That was a long time ago.
Arthur pulls from his boot a thing that very wrapped cloth package. It just kind of, which contains exactly what you'd think it contains.
He doesn't seem to like look at it or need to recognize it.
Figured it'd be better back to be. I figured it'd be better to give it back to you than to hold on to it much longer.
You don't think you're going to need it?
Of course, I think I'm going to need it.
Then you should probably hold on to it.
I'm no good with knives.
Are you asking me to reforge it?
I don't know. I don't. Asking you to destroy it feels like saying goodbye to some of the last pieces I have of her. So I don't know.
Do you want revenge on the one who did it?
To a degree. But revenge feels more like something for people that have the time. I just want to keep these people safe.
The one that stabbed your friend? He's an enforcer for the Fae who spreads fear and terror. Did most of it in the Isles. I can't say for certain if he was the one who made a lesson of Megan, but I put money on it.
It sounds like you should be going. You should be the one going for revenge.
Kind of laughs and he like pops open a door, and when it swings open into an armory that is filled with like bastard swords and fencing blades and pistols and all manner of cold iron McKeekern weapons. I have some revenge to settle.
What's your opinion on me then, if you don't mind me asking?
A month ago would have been different.
Are they coming here?
He says, the tower keeps them away. He says, and so I work near the tower.
Arthur, does he
He
still
says,
feel the pull from his coin to like remove the towers?
he can still, it's he can tell that the coin is itself sort of like bound up in the destruction of the tower.
I'm not very fond of this concept of fate. It seems that it seems that something somewhere wants the tower to be destroyed. Less so wanting it, more almost calling for it.
This is what I know of the Fae. He says they want this world back. It was theirs before it was ours. And they won't be satisfied forever with being worshipped in Avalon and Avalon alone. They'll wish to spread themselves to every corner. And they'll do it, he says, with glorious golden trumpets, he says, and heroes marching at the forefronts of their armies, but it'll be conquest all the same.
I don't care how pretty it ever sounds, it's always just an ugly piece of work.
You've seen them for what they are, haven't you?
It took me before. It took me maybe when I was 3. Not entirely certain.
You've seen them for the soulless leeches that they are.
I lived with the soulless leeches for more than a few 100 years.
He says, so, do you want me to forge you some knuckles?
Aye.
Come back
Seems
tomorrow,
like the
then.
best course.
Come back tomorrow. Says, I'll make you new ones, fitted to you. Says, you hold on to that for her. I won't change an inch of it.
Thank you. I don't really know what to say besides thank you. I don't know how to prepare these people for what may come.
These people, he says, have seen a lot. They might be more prepared than you think they are.
Oh, I desperately know that. I'm more mean for what's yet to come.
Says, that bitch unleashed the white plague on the city in hopes of taking a few of you out. And she's had no luck at it.
Are you saying my mother?
No, I'm talking the bitch in green.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. You know where she is. I'd like to kick her in the teeth.
I wish that I did. This is one thing she's very damn good at.
So wish she'd stop sleeping with me. That was so weird. Several months.
Do you want a cock ring made of the stuff?
I feel like that's a little too far. Like, I don't want to give you those sorts of measurements.
He says,
like, this is kind of like polite laughing to each other.
He's fully laughing, and he kind of like takes down a thing of whiskey. He says, but I would kill to see the look on her face.
Oh, yeah. Quite the look it'd be. Ah, it burns from the inside! Poof!
He laughs and hands me the bottle. He says, I'll see you tomorrow.
You can bet on it, Mac. And thank you.
Just take a few of them with you.
I plan to take all of them with me. Oh, you mean... Never mind. I thought you were saying, like, take some of these people with me when I go and do the thing. No, I plan on taking as many out as I possibly can. I'm not going anywhere. Haven't you seen me, mate? I'm invincible.
Says, well, you can take them with you out of my house.
That might also be worth it.
And I'm going to drop...
Logan would love the company.
I'm going to drop the curtain there. So... I'm going to ask for role-playing awards for the night. I'm saying already one than Hans.
It's Hans, yeah.
Hans.
I'd also want to give it to Gerard.
Yep.
Seconded. Thirded.
Third.
I'm good with that. All right, so we've got... I'm sorry. Man of Will is a 25-point advantage.
Oh, 25. Damn. Wait, what does that? Hang on, I have to look that up now.
I put it in the cast
It's
chat.
in major advantages. It's really fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
I put it in cast chat. I put a screening of it.
Yeah, and it's gonna functionally render your hubris meaningless.
Oh fuck! Nice. That's crazy.
No more drama die from Hubers.
But Glory, no more Shadow Daddy.
Oh, there's a Shadow Daddy.
All right.
He still has
So
a debt to pay.
we've got our two nominations. I'm going to thank everyone for being here. I've got another 6 a.m. flight, so I'm going to be skedaddling out of here. So thank you for everyone watching us on YouTube or live on Twitch. Audience participation always means the world to us. And if you're on YouTube, smash the like, hit the subscribe, make a comment in the down below. Here at Dirty 20, we always send out with the same call to action. Be nice, be kind when you have the spoons, but even when you're not, be nice. Be nice to strangers, be nice to family, be nice to your loved ones, and be nice to yourself. Thank you for coming on this journey with us, and we will see you next week.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.